Welcome back. Steve Price sitting in for Andrew Bolt. State governments around the country seem to be having a lot of industrial trouble with frontline officers. I know New South Wales has now settled its issue with the paramedics, but the state Labor government in Victoria is still refusing even to sit down and talk properly with frontline police. Now, police officers in Victoria have been asking for increased pay, better working conditions. I mean, they're doing a heap of unpaid overtime, and as part of their latest workplace agreement. However, there's been months of backward and forwards. Little progress has been made. Victoria's top police union and the state government remain stuck in this bitter stalemate. It needs to be sorted out. We're about to go into the Christmas period where we need as many police out on the roads as we possibly can. Labor flat out refuses to come to even the negotiating table. Now, the police are requesting a 4% pay increase. That'll be over a number of years and 9-hour shifts. Now, that doesn't seem to me to be at all unreasonable, but the Victorian government just will not budge. Now, in a further escalation, police could refuse to actually issue speeding fines and to patrol mass public gatherings pending a union vote at the end of the year. They've even said they might refuse to be involved with the Australian Open tennis. Now, in a sign of their displeasure, and I love this today, police officers gate-crashed a press conference. It was being held by the Victorian Energy Minister, Lily D'Ambrosio, in an attempt to make their message heard. She was, by the way, telling Victorians that if you've got gas appliances and they break down, you might now have to replace them with electricity. It's a crazy place, Victoria, I've got to tell you. Joining me now to talk about this is Brad Batten, the Shadow Police Minister in Victoria, and himself, a former police officer. Brad, why is this taking so long for this government to sort out with the police?
G'day, Steve. The simple answer is incompetence. You've got a minister who generally doesn't care that much about what the Victoria Police are doing or the conditions they're working under. He's also the Minister for Racing. So if you had have asked him anything about the Melbourne Cup, he was more than willing to come out and answer, but he's gone silent when it comes to Victoria Police. We've said, Jacinta Allen, you wanted the role as Premier. It's now time to make the tough decisions. If you've got a minister that can't perform, then maybe it's time you step in, go to the negotiating table and start working through the conditions that we need to make sure the Victoria Police are concentrating on what they need to concentrate on this Christmas. That's keeping the road toll down, stopping people drink driving on the roads, or more importantly, community safety, and people can be safe in their own homes. Really important in Victoria here as we approach Christmas.
Well, given, Brad, that we've got a situation in Victoria where you've got youth crime that, if it's not out of control, it's very, very bad, home invasions, you've got cars being stolen on a nightly basis, taken on joyrides being used in ram raids. We've had a series of tobacco shops burned to the ground. We've had restaurants fire-bombed. I mean, the police need to just be able to get on with their job, as you say. Why can't the police commissioner and the Premier sit down and nut out a deal?
Yeah, I'm not sure what happens to the police commissioner here. I'm not sure why he's not at the table, but it's obviously been told by the government that he can't negotiate what they're after, which is a 4% pay rise. Now, let's consider Virgin got a 5% pay rise today to keep flights back in the sky. The Victoria Police were asking for a 4% pay rise. I'm in a growth corridor. We've spoken about this youth crime issue before, Steve, and out in my area, just in the last week, I've had 2 friends who have contacted me in my local area who have had armed invasions in their homes. And this is an issue out through those growth corridors where we've got a shortage of police. The police can't respond as quick, and the Victorian government aren't respecting them. Therefore, people are resigning faster from the Victoria Police. They can't replace them as quick. This is a huge issue. So we need to get to the table, build that respect again. Not saying give them everything they want. The Police Association don't expect that, but they expect the government to come to the table and talk to them, not try and negotiate it through the media, or worse, lie to the media and say that they're bargaining in good faith when they're not.
Yeah, and look, the Victorian public are being lied to, Brad, as you know. The former Premier Daniel Andrews and now the current Premier Jacinta Allen keep saying, oh, well, the police academy's full, we're churning out, lots and lots of extra police, we're funding it. But at the other end, there's more leaving that are coming, and you've got hundreds, if not thousands, of police officers off on sick leave after what they were forced to do during COVID.
Yeah, it's a high-pressure job. We know it's a high-pressure job at the best of times, let alone right at the moment when they've got the extra added pressure of coming up to Christmas and what's happened in COVID. The Victoria Police and the Police Association have already admitted there's 30 police That was 800 the Chief Commissioner committed to. Now we've actually seen it's 870 vacancies here in Victoria. And the way that the Victorian government is handling this is they've reduced the hours on stations throughout the state. In 43 Victoria Police stations, you can no longer go to the counter to get support during specific times of the day or evening. That's simply not good enough. Or we're seeing them trying to move single-man stations in regional areas back into those areas like the 24-hour stations to support the bigger communities. We've got the simple answer. Build respect. Go back to the negotiating table. Not deliver everything thereafter, but sit down with the Police Association. Wayne Gatt is one of the most reasonable people I've dealt with. What can we do to ensure that we get Victoria Police back on the road? Community safety is a priority. And as you said, not writing speeding fines, etc. My concern is when we're coming into Christmas, we need to make sure people know that if they get caught, they're going to get fined. Our road toll's already too high. And I want to make sure, Steve, that everyone's at home for this Christmas. And the only way to do that, Jacinta Allen, bite the bullet, go to the table and sit down with the Victoria Police Association and negotiate this on behalf of all of our Victorian police members who deserve your respect.
As a former copper, you know that police take industrial action. They don't take it lightly. I want you to have a look at what happened today. Lily D'Ambrosio, she's out there trying to talk about turning off the gas, and the police turned up. Have a look.
You're going to have to let me talk.
They turned on the police sirens and she couldn't be heard. I loved it.
The actual industrial action that's been taken over time, look, the Victoria Police don't want to take this action, but they just want to get the government to the table. If the government won't come to the table, that's why they're taking this action. When I was in the police force, we did go through industrial action, so I'm not anti-industrial action. I was lucky. I was in the academy at the time. It just meant I didn't have to do any of the chores like peeling potatoes or mopping floors for the 20 weeks in the academy. However, in the more serious aspect, the minister was out there today. They're going to keep silencing the ministers as much as they can until they just return to the table, because at the moment, the Allen Labor government are silencing the voice of the Victoria Police across our state. As soon as you silence them, that's just highlighting you're disrespecting them.
Brad Batten, great to catch up with you. Thanks very much. Good luck. Now, after